Good evening. Snow falling in Madison today provided a poetic similarity between the beginning of Governor Evers' term and Scott Walker's. 8 years ago, a snowstorm hit as Walker delivered his first State of the State. That's about where the similarities end between the former governor and his Democratic replacement, who spoke before state lawmakers tonight. Newswatch 12's Rose McBride joins us live in Madison as she tells us which of Tony Evers' ideas received bipartisan support and what the upcoming budget just might look like. Rose, good evening.
Lane, Evers' address tonight gave us an idea of what we can expect in his upcoming budget. Lawmakers have said that they do want to work together, but judging by the atmosphere in the room tonight, this budget process could be as divided as ever.
As it always has been for me, it starts with education.
As the former superintendent of Wisconsin schools, Governor Tony Evers placed a big emphasis on education in his State of the State address. As he did in his inauguration address, Governor Evers said the children of Wisconsin are the ones who will eventually run the state. Governor Evers wants to return to 2/3 funding, meaning the state will fund 2/3 of a child's education, something that receives support from both sides.
And I was especially pleased to learn that the Speaker has encouraged his members to support this provision in our budget, and that I hope I can count on your support going forward.
In addition to general education funding, Evers spoke about increasing support for students with special needs, students from low-income areas, and minorities.
Tony Evers has always led on funding our public schools and equity, giving kids, every kid, the opportunity to succeed and get ahead, and I think that's what he's doing in his budget.
One thing got positive attention from everyone in the Assembly chambers tonight, and that was Evers' pledge to cut taxes for the middle class.
If he does that, we're going to continue to see a growing economy, and we're going to have more money to be able to spend on priorities like education, mental health, those type of things that Governor Evers talked about.
Evers' address varied from the past 8 that Governor Walker gave, but the GOP thought one important topic was missing: the strong economy.
The state of Wisconsin is strong. I mean, unemployment still remains at an all-time low for the last 11 months. That wasn't really touched on tonight.
Wisconsin is in a very good shape, and the number one thing that Governor Evers can do at this point is just make sure and don't screw it up.
Governor Evers says he expects the legislature to take up the budget that he proposed, not make a new one. But Senator Tom Tiffany said if this address tonight is any indication of what that budget will look like, the GOP-controlled legislature will be reworking it. Live in Madison, Rose McBride, Newswatch 12.
Newswatch 12's Rose McBride joins us live in Madison. Earlier today, she spoke with lawmakers and that top attorney about their expectations for tonight's address. Rose, good evening.
Lane, earlier this afternoon, I had the chance to talk with the new Attorney General, Josh Kaul. He said one of the things that he hopes that Governor Evers will focus on in his State of the State address is increasing public safety. Kaul said we need to do more to help our state crime labs.
We have outstanding scientists doing really high quality work at our crime labs, but we need to make sure that they have the funding that they need to ensure that evidence is tested efficiently so that cases around the state aren't being delayed.
Kaul's predecessor, Brad Schimel, finished testing a backlog of Wisconsin sexual assault evidence kits during his term, but Democrats criticized Schimel for taking so long to do it. Evers' office released portions of his speech tonight. He'll mention developing the economy partly by putting an emphasis on small businesses, what funding for schools will look like this budget cycle, and also fixing roads and infrastructures. All 3 of those were things he mentioned on the campaign trail. I also spoke with local lawmakers on what they hope to hear the governor speak about during his State of the State tonight. I'll have more information on what they had to say tonight at 6. Live in Madison, Rose McBride, Newswatch 12.
Newswatch 12's Rose McBride joins us live in Madison. She spoke with lawmakers earlier today to get a sense of what they would like to hear the governor speak about tonight. Rose, good evening.
Lane, people in rural and urban areas often have different needs, but those 3 topics you mentioned, healthcare, roads, and schools, are universal needs across the state of Wisconsin. Senator Janet Bewley, whose district covers Price County and part of Vilas County, says the issues Governor Evers campaigned on and will likely address tonight are important to people in our area of the state.
It is completely in line with the values that my district has, which are health care, good education funding, transportation funding, and I'm in a rural community, so we need the infrastructure and the rural broadband and cell phone coverage.
Healthcare, education, and transportation are not just three topics all part of the state agree are important, but both parties want to see change in Wisconsin. Senator Tom Tiffany believes the address tonight will just be a preview of a more serious budget talk that will come in the next month.
I think this is kind of the kickoff as far as really what is the meat and potatoes of what his administration is going to propose. But I think the bigger address that we're going to see from him is when he puts out his budget.
Governor Evers' budget should come out sometime in February. Tonight at 10, we will have a recap of the State of the State address that's happening here tonight in Madison and a reaction from local lawmakers on the address. Live in Madison, Rose McBride, Newswatch 12.